Hey there, welcome back to the Member Experience Advantage. This is Joy Duling from the Joy of Membership, and I'm really glad that you've decided to join me today. In today's broadcast, we are continuing on with our exploration of a special series called Why They Don't Know You Exist and What You Can Do About It. We are actually in week 3 of the 4-week series. In the first week, we talked about why members might not know you exist as being caused by just not being where they are trying to solve their most pressing problems. And once you've identified the problems that they're concerned about, it makes it so much easier to get in front of them and for them to discover you. The second problem that we talked about last week was around not having a promise that you're putting out into the world that is a head turner, where you're kind of flying under the radar because people simply don't notice what you are offering. You are inviting them to be part of something that really isn't capturing their attention. So they blow right by you and they don't know that you exist. Today, I want to talk about the third big problem that I see kind of in this very first stage of member experience. As you might recall from earlier conversations, this first stage I call discovery. And it is that period of time in which a prospective member, goes from not knowing you exist to suddenly being aware of you. So, the third reason why this can happen where they simply don't know that you exist is because you aren't showing up consistently. Now, there are a couple of reasons why this happens. The first reason is that you legitimately are just busy. So you get caught up in the momentum of delivering programs and events and services to current members, and you just have a hard time kind of keeping the discovery activities going. This is super common, especially when you are running a successful membership. So if you already have a full roster of members in your association, trade group, or membership-based nonprofit, it takes a lot of time to keep those people happy. So having to carve out this little part of you that still stays focused on those people who don't know you exist can be pretty hard. Quite frankly, it's easier to serve existing members than it is to always be looking for those folks who don't know about you. But this is such important work. This is like wanting to fill up a bucket with water, but never turning on the faucet. So it's going to be really hard to fill up that bucket if you never turn on the faucet of water. So legitimately, you just might not have the time, and you need to figure out a way to carve out that time either for yourself or for another member of your team to consistently stay focused on reaching out to people who do not know that you exist. Now, this is something that I actually had to take my own medicine on. I began about a month ago with a commitment for the new year of reaching out to 25 new organizations that do not know I exist, simply to introduce myself and to invite them to something that they might care about. Perhaps you learned about me and you are here at this crowdcast today because I invited you. The only way that people who do not know you exist are going to find you is if you're putting yourself out into the world in a place where they run into you, and you're doing so on a consistent basis. So for me, every Monday, I have my list of 25 organizations that do not know I exist that I reach out to. And it is worth spending that time because it would be super easy for me just to be caught up in helping my current clients. But that's not going to help me achieve the growth goals that I have set for my organization. And if you are just servicing existing members, it's not going to help you reach your growth goals either. So we have to carve out that time somehow. Now, the second reason that you might not be doing consistent outreach to new people is that you may already think that you're doing it. So I find this to be very common among membership organizations in that they think that they're doing outreach because they're publishing on their blog, they're publishing their newsletter, they're sending emails out to prospects. But when you're doing those things, you're actually putting more information out into the world for people who already know you exist. They're already on your list. They know that you can offer them something. They're actually not in the first stage of experience being discovery. They're actually in contemplation, which is a completely different stage. They already know you exist. They just have to make that decision about whether you're offering something of value that they want to take advantage of. What we want to do is get you out in front of people who truly do not know that your association, trade group, membership-based nonprofit, they do not know that you even exist or offer anything that would be of benefit to them. So where are you going to find them? Well, if you go back to what we talked about in week 1 and you look at the problems that your ideal members are trying to solve, you have to get out there in places where they're trying to solve those problems, or you have to get out there with strategic partners who are working with them and can introduce you. You have to get out there with referral programs from current members who can introduce you to friends who might not yet be aware. But the idea is you need some exposure consistently to human beings who do not know that you exist or have anything to offer. So if you are currently only communicating with people who already know about you, that's not going to turn on the faucet of new people coming into your process. So that's my message for today. I would challenge you to kind of look at what you're currently doing. How often are you getting out there in front of your ideal audience with people who truly do not know that your organization exists or is doing any work in this area? I would love to hear your thoughts on this, especially after you kind of analyze what you're doing and how consistently you're doing it. Shoot me a note back. Let me know what you find. Anyway, have a great rest of your Friday, and I will see you next week.